Hi guys, this is Lalana. Thank you for tuning in to the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about a subject that I see a lot in Twin Flame communities. I hear the question a lot, and a lot of Divine Feminines tend to say, you know, why am I the one doing all the work? Why do I have to suffer while my twin flame is off doing whatever with whoever, wherever, and I'm just kind of taking the brunt or the hit of this path, of this union? What are they doing, right? Where are they at? All those sort of things. So I guess first I want to say that the twin flame, Divine Feminine, does not have to suffer. And I want to hit on the fact that this is a belief actually for the Divine Feminines who feel this way, or this comes up for them from time to time, where you feel like, you know, why does this keep happening? I keep doing the work, I keep going within, I'm doing this and that and the other, and I'm, you know, trying to do the shadow work and all of those sort of things. So, you know, why is this so hard? Why do I continue to suffer and go round and round and round, right, on this path? Why do I keep hitting those same walls? And so when we're asking a question like that, I think one of the first things that we need to be honest with ourselves about is saying, is the fact that I'm not in physical union with my twin flame what is making me suffer? So that's the big sort of red flag question and the big red flag answer on this path. Does the Divine Feminine feel like they are suffering because they are still not in physical union with their twin flame? The answer to that, more times than not, is going to be yes. You know, why am I not with them? Why am I doing all this work and they're not? You know, why have I done all this work and they're still not showing up? You know, the whole dialogue that goes round and round and round in your head, the dialogue that we see, that other twins are sort of saying the same things. This theme tends to be pretty popular. And the thing is the reason that you feel that you are suffering is because you have an attachment to the idea that if you do all of these things, that eventually you will be rewarded by your divine masculine coming back into your world and having a physical romantic relationship with you. This is why the Divine Feminine feels like she's suffering, because she feels like he, either one's not, Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine are not identified by gender. I think we all know that now. So this is why the Divine Feminine feels like they are suffering, because they feel like they are doing the work. They're walking the path. They're doing the things that they need to do. They're going within, you know, they're taking the courses, they're doing the meditations. You're doing all of these things, and sometimes you feel better and sometimes you feel lighter, and sometimes it feels like, yeah, you know, this is feeling good, and you know, the energy from them is feeling nice and you're feeling in that good place. And then it gets to a point where it's been a few months or a few weeks or however long, and you're looking around and you're thinking, well, where are they? Why is this still not happening, right? And as I said, this is actually the opposite of the direction that this path is intended to go. So when we're doing the work for a reward, right? When we're doing the work because we have this assumption, this expectation, and this attachment to, well, as long as I do X, Y, Z, based on what this person said or that person said or whatever else, then eventually that means that I'm going to be in this type of relationship with this person. And that's why I'm doing this stuff, because that's what I want. So the twin flame path doesn't work like this. As I've said in all my videos, and I'll continue to say, this is not a third dimensional relationship. This is not based on a relationship template that you have been running potentially for all your life and all your past lives. The twin flame template that is here, that the twin flames hold, is creating a completely different template based on a higher vibratory state. So basically, true twin flames are breaking the old relationship template based on codependency, based on attachment, based on validation, jealousy, need, all of those sort of things that are in a distorted, low vibratory reality. Twin flame templates are the template holders. I'm getting all tongue-tied, sorry. Twin flames hold the template to break those old dynamics. Twin flames are not a traditional third dimensional relationship that we want them to be. This is a dynamic and it is a connection. It is energetic. And as I've said before, this is not a romantic fantasy relationship like so many, songs and movies and books tout all of these things to be. This is actually the opposite of what it is. So the divine feminine feels like they are suffering because they have an attachment and an expectation to what's going to be if I do this thing, right? And so this is the way that this reality is set up. If I go on a diet, I'm going to lose this amount of weight, and so then I'm going to be this thing that I want. If I get a job, I'm going to make this amount of money, and then I'm going to be able to buy that thing, and so then I get rewarded for it, right? If I go to school, I'm going to get this degree, and then I can get that thing, and right? That's how this reality is set up. If this, then that. And so the twin flame comes along, and we have everybody, not everybody, but we have a lot of people saying, if you do this, then that. The same formula. And so that's what we're used to, the same formula. But I did this, and so now I should have that. These are all based in third dimensional constructs that are based on belief systems and programs that we've been indoctrinated to in this reality, right, as souls. These are experiences that we came here to have. And then we ascend out of these experiences. We go through awakening, we go through ego death, we go through dark night of the soul, we go through an alchemizing process, and we release those old beliefs and those old patterns, and we release the old romantic template. Twin flames are carrying a much more high vibratory template for partnership and for interdependency in the higher realms, the 5D specifically. And this is where sacred union exists. This is where the possibility of coming back into sacred union with another and having that high vibratory, interdependent, romantic connection exists. That type of connection that we are all hoping for doesn't exist in the 3D. It doesn't exist here. And so we need to change the idea that we have about how romantic relationships are going to show up and what they actually look like. How healthy they are, what codependency is doing, what jealousy is doing, what envy is doing, what attachment is doing, what all of those things that are making us feel like we need that. I need that thing. I need that person or I'm not complete. I need this relationship or I don't feel good. Those are all coming from wounds and programs and beliefs that we've all been running. And the twin is here to break all of those programs and beliefs and all of those things that we have become attached to that romantic relationships play out as in the 3D. So the divine feminine, until you come through that ascension process and you really focus on you, your self-care, your self-love, your self-value, coming into inner union with self, really coming face to face with, why am I running this program? Why do I feel this way? Why do I have these feelings of jealousy coming up? Why do I feel like I need to get validated? Why am I afraid of someone abandoning me? Why am I afraid of being betrayed? Why am I having like self-love issues? All of those things need to be looked at, healed, eradicated, and cleared completely before sacred union can take place. This is why the feminine feels like she's suffering. This is why the feminine feels like she's chasing her tail, or she or he are chasing their tail around and around and around, because we're missing the actual reality or the actual truth of how this dynamic works. And we're so used to playing out these old romantic templates that we're just assuming that, you know, it's a copy and paste kind of thing on the twin flame journey. It's got to be the same thing. So many of these coaches and twin flame teachers are telling me that it's the same thing. It couldn't be farther from the same thing. It is actually the opposite of the same thing. And that's why you feel like you're going round and round. That's why you feel like you're suffering, right? Because you have a false representation based on a belief that this is what the twin flame represents. And this is how this dynamic should look. And it should be the cut and paste of what I've already had before, except for way, way, way better. But it isn't. It isn't what it is. And I think that's one of the most difficult things for the feminine to truly surrender to and embrace and come back into remembrance of. This is something you already know. It's something you forgot when you incarnated here and went through the amnesic process. But it's something that you already know. It's already in you. It hasn't been lost. This is basically a retrieval process in a lot of ways. It's coming back into the union with the self that you've always been. You haven't lost union with self. You just forgot who you were, right? That's why we're breaking down all of these programs. That's why the ascension process is taking place, so that you can shift out of romantic relationship is supposed to look like this because this is what I believe, because this is what I've been told, and this is what I've always been doing, to, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'm actually the embodiment of my higher self. I'm actually in oneness and in unity with God's source creation. I'm actually a spark of all that is. And divine union and sacred union is actually my birthright. It's actually my true nature. I've just been living in the third dimensional reality, experiencing separation. But that's not who I truly am. It's not who I've ever truly been. This is what awakening does. It shakes you loose. It shakes you loose from all the things that make you feel like you're suffering if you don't have that person. The reason that you feel like you're suffering is because you've lost the connection with self. The twin flame is you. They're you incarnate. This is why you pine after them, because you miss that feeling of being connected to source. The twin represents source to you. This is the highest energetic frequency that you have experienced in this, incarnation, is them, because they are you. They are your one same energy, soul signature frequency. So when you're around your twin and you feel that energetic hit when you're around your twin, or if you feel it when you're in separation, because a lot of times you feel them even stronger when you're not together, and you feel that energy and it just sort of floods over you, and anybody who's been on this path knows exactly what I mean. That feeling is source, universe, God, creation. That's what you feel. You're feeling yourself coming back into union with all that is, with all that you've ever been. So this is why we suffer on this path, is because we've forgotten that. And we're associating that feeling, that energy, only with that physical person that we identify as our twin, forgetting that we are coming from the same soul family, right? We have one higher self. You and your twin have one higher self. I'm gonna do a video on that. You have one monad soul, one oversoul. You are the same soul. So feeling their energy is like coming home. That's why you hear things. Well, if they feel like home to you, then they're your twin. Is that the end-all be-all sign? Absolutely not. It isn't. But if you're a true twin flame, then you know what that energetic feeling is. That's what you miss. That's what feels good. That's why you're chasing them. Not realizing that you're actually chasing yourself. You're actually chasing your own energy. That's the thing. And so we're over here thinking like, but this person makes me feel really good when I'm around them energetically, and so I need to be in romantic, traditional, physical relationship with them so that I can feel that all the time. That's what you're thinking. So I can feel that all the time. If I'm with them all the time, then I can feel it all the time. And then if I'm with them physically, then that's going to validate that I'm a twin flame and that I'm actually on a twin flame path. Because if I'm in physical union with them, then that means this is real. Yeah, I know. Been there. Done that. It isn't what it means. So you can be in and out of physical relationship with your twin for a lifetime and still not have it stick. That's the thing. We sort of gauge, or a lot of twins sort of gauge physical romantic relationship with the twin as, the goal, the end point, the you made it, the I'm a real twin because I'm in physical union, with my twin flame. Being in true union with your twin flame means coming back into union with self. And once you're back into union with self, that means you're back into the embodiment of the higher self, which means you're back into union with God, source, creation, all that is, right? That's the point of the twin flame path. Once you're in that place, then yes, sacred union can absolutely take place energetically and physically as you are one unified field. But as I continue to say, the ascension process has to come first. There's not even a possibility for this to happen if you're not going through ascension process. It's not even a possibility for any of those things to happen if you're not coming back into inner union. There's a procession to this process. And so the feminine feels like they're suffering because they're trying to jump to the end of the line before they've actually done, the prerequisite courses. Things have to be done in order. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's the ladder, as I talk about. You have to climb from the bottom of the ladder up. We have to deal with what's going on in the lower chakra systems, vibratorily. What's happening in your root chakra? What's happening in your sacral chakra? What's going on down there, right? What are your wounds saying? What is your self-talk saying? What is the chitter-chatter in the back of your mind doing? All of these things. What program do you keep running? What wall do you keep hitting? All of these things have to be faced, dealt with, healed, and cleared for actual true union to take place. And that true union, first and foremost, is with self. Until all of these things are going on, that union that you want so much with the divine masculine isn't going to happen. That's why I keep harping on all of these sort of things. Go within, go within, go within. Focus on you, focus on you, focus on you. It's the only way to navigate this path, right? Otherwise, you stay on this path and it's just like back and forth and back and forth. You hear these people that have been on the twin flame path for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, in and out of separation, in and out of separation. Because they're always focused on the physical person. They're always focused on that attachment to that physical, romantic relationship that has been the same types of romantic relationships that they've had all their life. Not understanding the dynamics of this, that this is not a third dimensional relationship. This is a fifth dimensional relationship and higher, which means you have to be anchored in the fifth dimension before you can even attain it. That's the thing. This is like the long haul. It's a marathon. It isn't a sprint. And a lot of people are just kind of trying to circumvent it and think that it's something that it isn't. And this is why people are getting stuck. The ego is telling you one thing. The higher self is telling you something else. And you're in between worlds wondering who to listen to. Your higher self is inexhaustible, right? Your higher self is eternal. It will never get tired. It can do this same process for lifetimes if you choose to. That's how strong your free will is. Your free will says, well, I would rather stay in these old patterns. You're free and clear to do that. There's no one that's going to say you have to do this thing. This is why some twins don't ever come into union, because one twin may do the work and the other twin doesn't do the work. You can't force one to do the work. Are both twins going to be affected if the feminine is doing all the work and coming into inner union? Of course. Yes, they are both going to be affected energetically. This is one energetic system. But you still can't force that, coming out of those wounds. This is a conscious decision that needs to be made of, I'm going to face my stuff. So even if you're ascending, you can dig your heels in the sand and whatever and decide, like, I'm not going to face the stuff. It's too hard. But if we don't face these things, then we're basically stopping our own selves from that ascension process. It's like that quote that says, let go or be dragged. It just makes the ascension process last twice as long, and it's going to be twice as rough, and it's going to take a long time to get there. But eventually you'll get there. It just might not be in this lifetime. So letting go of that attachment to this path needs to look like all of the things that look like in the past for my relationships, except way, way better, right? We need to let go of that idea, because that's not what the twin flame path is. And we need to embrace that this is an ascension path, which means I'm going through a spiritual and Kundalini awakening. Very important. I'm going through a Kundalini awakening, right? And my ego is breaking down. And the person who I always thought I was is not the person who I am rebirthing. This is a phoenix story, right? This is a turning lead into gold. This is a rising from the ashes. This is a rebirth, which means you have to let go of all of these past ideas and concepts and beliefs in order to make space to embrace the actual higher aspects of you, so that that becomes your embodiment. And then there is no suffering, because there is no chasing and there is no attachment. At that point, there's simply inner union. And inner union is contentment and peace and a very high vibration of abundance and love. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you have an awesome day.